Hello, guys and gals. My name is Titan Slayer 845, and welcome to my new series where I will be discussing various topics across the many TV shows that I have watched across my life. This week's topic is the League of Villains from My Hero Academia. This series currently does not have a name, so if you wish to suggest one, feel free to do so in the comment section down below. And to anyone curious, this is my cat. His name is Sully. If you wish to know anything else about him, comment down below and I might make a mini video about him. Now, to the subject at hand. I will be talking about each member of the League of Villains and why I feel that they do not deserve any sympathy, at the very least from my viewpoint. This will all be my opinion, and you're more than welcome to disagree with me. I welcome discussion down below. Now then, this episode will contain spoilers for My Hero Academia all the way through Season 7. If you do not wish to be spoiled, this is your cue to leave. And I am aware of some stuff that's happened in the manga, so I will be mentioning that. Okay, so let's start with the main main character of the group, shall we? Tomoe Shigaraki, Tenko Shimura, whatever you would like to call him. Now then, he has, most of the League members have terrible history, leading to them becoming what they are, villains. Tenko Shimura was abused and neglected by his family, abused by his father, and more or less neglected by the rest of his family. Constantly being put outside despite being itchy and being withheld food due to his father's no hero policy. Now, I understand that in the manga it's revealed that All For One manipulated his father to make him like that, to make him so harsh, but in any case, he still, even after, the family was out of the picture, he still ended up on the streets and no one came to help him. The only one who did would be that world's version of the devil incarnate, evil itself. And even then, that was all a ploy to get back at All Might. In any case, I do not feel that. I feel that even despite this story, with all the destruction he has caused up until this point, where it was all his actions, as in when he had full control up until, halfway through Season 6, and, during the latter half of Season 7. He caused a lot of death and destruction, killing many people. Sorry, lost my train of thought. So, and while I understand his philosophy that he gives out to Endeavor in Season 6, I understand it. I mildly agree with it. Like, don't grow over reliant on the people who protect your society. Otherwise, you're not gonna take action yourself. It's a terrible idea. But that does not give you permission to destroy everything. He's killed so many people, caused so much destruction, and yes, I know, I'm repeating myself. I am tired, I apologize, but I decided to wait until the last minute because I did not have the energy until, now. So I apologize for that, but, I've seen a lot of people give flack to Endeavor for blasting him while Shigaraki is giving his speech, but, the dude just turned an entire city to dust. At that point, any sympathy is long gone. Even if he was innocent up until that point, which he wasn't, he turning that city to dust would have been enough to be like, yeah, I don't give a shit about what you're saying. Yeah, I would have blasted his ass too. And on the off chance this guy who role plays Natsuro, Endeavor's kid, I really don't care about anything you have to say if you're in this comment section. So that's mean, but I don't care. Now then. Moving on. Well, I'm talking about Endeavor. Might as well move on to his kid. Darby, or Toya Todoroki. As I said, if you got spoiled from this video, you only have yourself to blame because I gave you a warning. Now then, make no mistake, Endeavor was a terrible father across all 4 children, and he only started to improve when his youngest was 15 years old. That is way too late to try and start being a good father. However, Endeavor is one of my favorite characters, so I do like him at this point, but I don't like going back and watching his moments from pre-season 4. Anyway. So, Darby has, killed a lot of people too in the name of making a cleaner society, or better society, as like his idol Stain. But the problem with that is you can't do that when you're murdering people. You can claim Endeavor is worth all you want, but aside from those Nomus he's fought, he never took a life. He may have ruined 5 others, but he saved so many lives that it doesn't outweigh it. It does outweigh your actions as you taking away all of those lives. I know he gives an exact number in season 6, but I'm not gonna look that up because I remember it being in the double digits, and that's more than enough to be like, for me to be like, yeah, no, you're worse than Endeavor at this point, buddy. A terrible past does not excuse that. And, well, I understand the emotions I'm supposed to be feeling during that whole scene where Darby is about to, freaking detonate, but I really don't care if he lives or dies. I understand that the family does, and kudos to them, but I feel like at that point, even I would have, if it was my family member, I would have been like, no, whatever punishment you have coming, you deserve. With Darby, yeah, any points he tries to make fall on deaf ears with me. He does not get any, sympathy from me. Okay, moving on. Oh, yes. Toga. Himiko Toga. Now then. Basically ostracized by her family for, drinking blood and being obsessed with it. Shut out from her family, and I don't remember exactly what happened. But I'm going to be repeating myself a lot here because the point is pretty much the same across the board, but I have to explain how the various circumstances don't work. At the very least, I feel I have to do so. Now, okay, with Himiko, she is obsessed with blood due to her quirk, which is, if you haven't seen the series, called Transform. She drinks a person's blood, she transforms into them. Simple enough. So, and She wants to become the people she loves through this method, and all fine and good. Well, not really, but you get my point. But yeah, she's also a murderer, which doesn't exactly get any favors from me. But with her, I don't feel any sympathy from her especially when Twice died. I'll get to him in a second. With like Twice also, well, it should have been done legally. He kind of did have death coming. But in any case, whenever he. Oh, I'm not talking about him yet. Like I said, my head is scrambled kind of right now. With Twice. With Toga. She just wanted to be accepted, have friends, and. I think it's a little funny that when she asks Ochako if she's cute, that they gave her a very distorted face. I understand that's the point, but I still find that a little bit funny. But yeah. Well, I don't think I have much to say about Himiko because I don't really relate to the story. At the very least, not hers at least. And since I already mentioned him, let's move on to Twice. Okay, Jean Bubagawara. I probably heavily mispronounced that. Um, Described as a good man just on the wrong side, who only found friends through villains. And he's one of the two that I would say deserve sympathy. But yeah. He was dealt a shitty hand for his life. If memory serves, he got fired for some kind of BS reason. I don't remember exactly what it was, just that it was BS. Now then, considering that he's done a large amount of murdering too and helped with a kidnapping, well, so did Dabi and Himiko, yeah. It's hard to feel any sadness when he died, and I don't blame Hawks for taking a kill shot on him. Especially considering that if Twice had stayed still, he probably would have lived. It was only after he forced Hawk's hand that, well, he died. And considering all of his crimes, I don't think Hawks was out of line. Save what people you can with whatever means necessary. That is how I think it should be. Not all heroes have the same philosophy as Batman. If sometimes people need to be taken out. That's the way I see it. I believe it's time to move on to the next subject. Well, let's be quick about this one. Magna. Now then, because I know that with whichever pronoun I use, I'm gonna piss someone off. So I'm just gonna use they. Basically, well, I don't really. Well, there's not much to say. Now, understand that it's kind of difficult for transgender people to live in society somewhat, but I'm not the type, but I don't support that group. And yes, I am fully comfortable saying that online. If you want to unsubscribe from me because of that, feel free. I don't really care. Well, I don't really care if you unsubscribe because of that. Everyone has different opinions. Now then. Another verse, same as the first. I don't really care about their deaths because of all the crimes that were committed. Fully, especially considering helping. Helped with the successful kidnapping of two people, Ragdoll and Bakugo, which ended up losing Ragdoll her quirk. So, yeah. Well, moving on. Sorry that one was so short, but I really don't have anything to say about Magna. Yes, now the other person who actually deserves some sympathy. Kurogiri, or rather Shirakumo. Now, he's a part of the league because technically he's a Nomu himself, rebuilt, programmed. He cannot. He doesn't really decide for himself. Now, Kurogiri, technically he's committed a lot of bad acts, but I don't. But since he's not in control of his actions, I can't really. He's actually someone I do feel bad for, but that's about it. Okay, let me put it to you like this: when the Kurogiri personality is in control, yes, he's done bad shit, and he should be put out of his misery because Shirakumo technically should have been dead a long time ago. To be blunt. Oh. Okay, apparently I had another cat in my room. That's what I got distracted by. Okay. And I'm looking at a list of the League of Villains members because if I didn't have that, I would forget some of them. Okay? Right. Spinner now. Or yeah, no, I'm not gonna try and pronounce that. That's not gonna turn out well. Now then, what he's fighting for is basically kind of a similar thing to, real life racism. It's supposed to be representative of fighting against that through the heteromorphs. I don't agree with his tactics. Same as I don't really agree. I never really agreed with Malcolm X's tactics, because in my opinion, violence only begets more violence. And yes, while that seems contradictory to what I said earlier, I don't really. Sometimes violence is necessary, but if you want to bring about an end to a bad image of the people you're representing, then you really shouldn't be adding more fuel to the fire. Especially when you see other heteromorphs on the other side fighting against you. That should give you a pretty good idea that something is wrong with your ideology. You can't just be violent and expect things will be better. If you want a change for a group like that, you can't be violent about it. And while I understand it, it just doesn't work like that. Now then, I believe that's all of them. At the very least, all of them that we have extensive history on. I mean, technically there's Muscular, but I'm not gonna talk about him because we don't know his history that much. But in any case, I hope you all are enjoying I hope you all enjoyed this discussion. If you didn't, give me some criticisms down below so that way I can improve and make this more enjoyable for you guys next time. Now then. Anyway, that's why, all of that is why, in my opinion, the League of Villains don't really deserve any, well, sympathy. Due to the various acts and crimes, what have you, they committed throughout the series, and, prior, of course, that outweighs all their terrible history. It doesn't matter how bad your history was. You did far worse than the people who caused you to become what you are. And, in all honesty, death is deserved by most of them. As blunt or cruel as it is to say that, that's just how I feel. Now, you're welcome to disagree with me. Just try to be polite about it, please. Anyway, I think next week I will be discussing some things from Invincible. Let me know if you're interested in that. Tanslayer 845 signing off. Goodbye.